my storytelling really shows up in both my academic and creative work. My purpose through academia and digital storytelling is to make visible the stories of people whose identities have been denied a spotlight. As a Southerner, as a Black woman, as a queer Black woman, it's like a mass presenting queer Black woman, my experiences don't always end up in the center of what we know about people and what our experiences are. And that has always led me to want to make folks see me. And when I say me, those of us whose identities just don't get a spotlight, whose identities don't get centered. And if their identities don't get centered, then their stories don't. And the stories that are the experiences of our lives, they matter. They count for something. So that's a thread through my personal journey, through my academic journey, and my creative journey. This is about visibility, power, and representation for me. I got married in 2017, and we so not everybody knows this. We got married like officially in 2016 because I was having surgery in December of 2016. And because Donald Trump was coming into office, we didn't know what things would be like by the time we had our like public ceremony in October of 2017. And so we're just like, let's go ahead and do this so that if there are decisions that need to be made in the heat of the moment, that Blair is my lawful wife and she can make those decisions. And we weren't sure what it was going to look like to wait. That was a real concern. That's what I mean about queer stories, like this stuff being real. We had to make significant decisions at that time to try to protect ourselves. And then we thought we were in the clear, when 2020 came around and Biden was elected. But the states then started to elect more conservative representation in government. And so some of those thinking we could move to Alabama and be safe, or thinking we could move to Georgia or Virginia, South Carolina or North Carolina and be safe, like all of
Hmm.
that was flipped on its head after 2022. What became clear to me was the institutions do not hold, for one. So we have to find some other way of accessing power, other way of understanding power, protecting our communities, figuring out how else to get ahead. And then, it's just, I think the other part is just that we're vulnerable. I thought I was safe. I thought to some degree I was safe thinking about privilege earlier. I got a doctorate. I live in a fairly blue area. I feel
Hmm.
fairly safe. So I should be able to go anywhere. I'm married now. The Constitution has said it's cool, it's fine. But that stuff could be ripped away just as quickly as an election. 2020 was Biden, quote unquote, fixed it, some of it. And then just 2 years later, we're back in a vulnerable position. And so though I've never forgotten those things. And that's changed why I'm committed to telling the stories of people who look like me, people whose experiences are similar or align or mirror mine. Because there has to be some other way to begin to build power, to think about community absent these national institutions. And in fairness, other sort of local organizing groups, and we're much better about it now, but in the past, you might have Black women, Black men organizing for Black political power, but they're not including queer folks. They're not, when they're
Yes.
talking about family, they don't mean a family that looks like mine. And so that's the reason why it became so important to me to think about visibility and its relationship to power, and think about culture, visibility, culture, and that relationship to power. So that's how I arrived here.